Have you ever wondered what runs the Pizzaplex? Like, is it electricity or is it some other sinister thing? Or who or what the CEO would be after Mr. Buzz in Tales from the Pizzaplex series of Fazbear Entertainment? Or what the consequences are of Vanessa and Gregory stopping to obey Glitchtrap and Mimic and going to the other good side? Well, today at Boy of Swing Trap, I'm going to be answering a lot and all of those questions. So stay tuned, as I think I got more evidence for the fellow FNAF theory, Remnantplex. Please like and subscribe. So, what is Remnantplex? Well, Remnantplex is a theory that was made after Ruin, I'm pretty sure, and it indicates that the scooper we find in Ruin was using remnant to inject the Pizzaplex, which made the Pizzaplex run. So the Pizzaplex didn't use any electricity. It ran on remnant. First of all, this theory doesn't really have a bunch of backing. We don't have any source of remnant. We also don't have any source of remnant. And also, we don't actually have a reason for why this would happen. We also know that the Pizzaplex was also, well, in ruin. So, if the Pizzaplex just fell down because it didn't have any remnant for it to have, which we don't even know how that will happen since we don't know a source of remnant by then, we also know that an earthquake was the reason for the Pizzaplex to fall. So, there wasn't really a lot of evidence for this theory, except for the fact that the scooper was known for injecting remnant, which is why the idea came. However, today I got more evidence for Remnantplex and a source of remnant and how this actually makes sense. So we know that Vanessa was the one that was killing children and Gregory was the one that was luring children, told to us by Escape the Pizzaplex, which is a good read, even though I've never read the book. Now we know that Vanessa, due to a security breach ending, that in a newspaper article, 9 missing children are there. And we know Vanessa kills all of these children. That's 9 pieces of remnant. Now, how much can 9 pieces of remnant power up? Well, it can power up a lot of things. Now, in the Stitch Rate Stingers, Jake just uses a little bit of his remnant to save someone's life, Detective Lawson. Now, think about that and times a little bit into 1 remnant. And 1 remnant times that by 9. You get 9 pieces of remnant which can save possibly dozens of human beings. That can definitely power up a major Pizzaplex. So now we get how remnant can actually power up the Pizzaplex. So how does the remnant even power up the Pizzaplex then? Well, there might be a conversion here, which could tell us a lot more about the scooper. We know it can inject remnant, but maybe it could also inject a bunch of electricity. Maybe it gives a little shock. It could convert remnant into electricity, which is certainly a new thing we've never seen. So now we have found out the source of remnant, which is Vanessa, and we now find out how remnant can turn into electricity. Now, how was the Pizzaplex becoming ruined in Ruined DLC surprising, to say the least? Well, that is majorly because right after Vanessa and Gregory stopped obeying the glitch trap slash a mimic at the end of Security Breach, 1 year later, it becomes ruined. It's a big coincidence for me that an earthquake also happens at the same time. And I believe that in the same area, an earthquake can happen definitely in 2 decades, right? So it's surprising as the Pizzaplex existed for 17 years, and this is the only time an earthquake happened. If an earthquake even happens there. Now I know earthquakes might be rare, and you may be asking, the Pizzaplex didn't exist for 17 years. Well, this is where you need to watch the 2018 Pizzaplex theory video, which I made as my first FNAF theory video. And it tells a lot of evidence of why the Pizzaplex exists and opened in 2018. So in that case, when we know that Security Breach happens in 2025, that meant the Pizzaplex opened for 17 years. So that's a long time, and the fact it just closes due to an earthquake just doesn't make any sense. Is it because that after Vanessa and Gregory stopped obeying Gitstrap and Mimic, there was no source of remnant, and now the Mimic can't control the Pizzaplex, and it became ruined. Now, who's the next CEO after Mr. Boss? This may not be connected to the question, however, it is still quite important to it. This is because I believe the next CEO of the Fazbear Entertainment after Mr. Bowers was Glitchtrap, which is the Mimic. Why? Well, we do know the Mimic '01 program still exists, and we also know that there's no other CEO after Mr. Bowers dies after Security Breach. Before Security Breach. So wouldn't it make perfect sense that the Mimic was actually the CEO here? There's no even one saying that there was even a CEO in the first place. But if the Mimic was the CEO, there would be a lot more sense of how the Mimic controls the Pizzaplex and how the Mimic can just control what glamour animatronics exist and how it can more brainwash Vanessa. Vanessa is a 23-year-old woman and cannot be brainwashed so easily. But maybe, just maybe, I'm not trying to be sexist here, but if you were being told by a higher person to do something, you may do it. Vanessa was brainwashed by the Mimic, certainly by something. However, I believe this might just be because the Mimic was the CEO. That too, because from Help Wanted we know that Vanessa was probably brainwashed from that. It gives more reason that Vanessa ended up brainwashed by the CEO, which is the Mimic. So the Mimic is the CEO, Vanessa is the remnant source, which powers up the Pizzaplex. That is all the evidence I have, which isn't that strong, but I think it's strong enough to make sure that Remnantplex is in fact a canon theory, even though most of FNAF theories are never confirmed. So I hope you enjoyed this video, which didn't really have a climatic ending. I hope I might find more evidence on this matter, so please like and subscribe for that video. And can I please reach 100 subscribers for once and for all? See you guys later.